One of the questions I've been asked a lot lately, especially with me bouncing around, has been how do you find a place to stay? I'll just kind of go through some of your options because I know everybody's got different itineraries and everything. If you're just coming in for, say, a week and you don't really mind spending the money, then really the easiest thing to do is book your hotel room before you leave using, one of the big travel websites like Travelocity or Expedia, any of those. And that's really the simplest way to do it. That way you can get lots of reviews and all that kind of stuff. Now that's your basic tourist visit, for a week or so. Now if you're going to stay for about, say, 2 to 3 weeks, well, then you can try and work a deal out with the hotels, maybe get a little bit of a discount. And I know what a lot of people think is, well, if they're going to come for 3 weeks, it would be great to get an apartment at a really cheap rate because you can get some apartments, for like under $200 for the month. The problem is that you only get that price if you're renting on, say, a 3 to 6 month lease. But if you're only going to just pop into town for a month, chances are you're not going to get that rate. As far as online goes, that's pretty much it. Because if you want to get an apartment or a studio or a boarding house, really, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but really the most efficient way you're going to be able to do that is once you're here to just go around. Depending on what city you're in, you can either take a tricycle, or if you rent a scooter, you can rent a scooter. That's probably the best thing because you really get a good view of what's in the neighborhood. You can just kind of go all day in the nooks and crannies of the streets and stuff. I know that sounds like a bizarre way to go about it, but let's say you're going to be here for about 2-3 months. What I would recommend is you go online, get a decent hotel for, say, 4 days. Give yourself 4 days, and that'll be your base of operations when you get off the plane. You got a place to put all your luggage, your valuables, and all that. Then you can go and every day, literally, just drive up and down. You'll find the residential areas, or you'll look, depending what you're looking for, a condo, a townhouse. A lot of those are in town. And don't be afraid to ask complete strangers. People are very helpful here in the Philippines. Although directions is a whole other thing. I'll talk about that later. But as far as help with housing, literally, I must have asked, I lost count, maybe 20, 30, 40 different people that I had, I didn't know them. I just saw them on the street. They didn't seem like they were too busy. And, you just be polite and say, excuse me, I'm looking for an apartment. I'm looking for a studio. Do you know of anything in the area? Now, the place that I found, that's how I found it. I spent 4 days just kind of running around, and I found lots of apartments. Finding them is not hard. It's just that, my preference. I wanted shade. I wanted greenery nearby, like here. I wanted, one place that I saw wasn't very secure, so that was important to me. Another place was secure, and I liked everything about it. It's just that the heat was just beating down on one side of the building. Well, they're just really... Anyways. So you will find a lot of apartments and stuff. The thing is going to be, what's your preference? And the issue might be prices and all that. Now, depending on what island you're on and how big of a place, a lot of people will say, well, how much is it going to cost me? Well, there's some variables involved. But just to give you kind of a ballpark, I've got, you can see it in my other video, here in Dumaguete, I've got a really good deal. For 8,000 peso, which is about $180 US, I've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story place with a kitchen and a big living room, and it's secure. Now, normally that would go for about 10,000 pesos, which is still a really good deal. You're only talking maybe 210 bucks or so. Now, that's for a pretty big-sized, decent place. I had a studio on Mactan, which was basically an office area, a kitchen, a very big bathroom, and a very nice sized bedroom, and that was it. That was the whole place. But it was only costing me $106 a month, US dollars. It was, I believe the rent was 4,000 pesos. So there are deals out there, but the only way I found them was by walking up and down, or, you know, a tricycle. As far as people to meet, you can literally ask people on the side of the street. Tricycle drivers often know. They know where pretty much everything is. They know where the bars are. They know where the girly bars are. They know where the apartments are, the restaurants are. They know where all that stuff is. So tricycle drivers can be a real help. And if you tell them, you know, hey, if you can find me a place, you know, I'll give you an extra, I don't know, you know, 200 peso tip or something, you know, and he'll drive you around looking for one. But that's how you're going to find a place. I know it sounds weird, but there is no real methodology to it other than just get out on the street. And what you're going to be looking for is not, you know, just something that says Buena Vista, you know, or Buena View, whatever, apartments, you know, vacancy. You know, if you're lucky, you'll see that, something like that. More likely what you're going to see is you really got to pay attention. You got to look in the windows, and there'll be a cardboard sign. You know, it'll say for rent, you know, or room available. And then it'll have usually a text number. So have your phone with you, text it. You may have to go back and forth a little bit to arrange a time to meet the landlord there. And that's really how you find a place. Again, I know it sounds weird, and I wish I could tell you just go to this certain website and it's all done. But no, it really is just a bit of footwork, going around on a scooter, trike, whatever you can get, and then just talking, you know. And if you know people in the city, that's even better, you know, because if they don't know, their wives may know. You know, people are fairly networked here, so you know, if you do know people or you're part of an expat group, a forum, ask them. They more than likely will know of a place, you know, available. So anyway, so just wanted to give you that heads up on how to find an apartment. I wish it was more complicated. I wish I could be more precise, give you a more precise method, but really that's what it boils down to. It's just you just kind of hit the streets. And it's kind of an adventure. So book a room for about 4 days. Hit the streets, and you should be fine. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.